Hey people, Fernando doing another video for the more survivalists, and again addressing one of these topics that I believe is crucial so as to be more aware of what's going on, aware of what the elite wants us to think, where we're being led, how we are being socially engineered to behave and think a certain way. And I somewhat addressed this in this previous video of mine regarding this woman. This is Chelsea Manning. She's supposed to be a comedian, and she had a little clip there about how wonderful it is to wake up like early in the morning, remember that you don't have kids, and start doing drugs and masturbating, which back in the day, it used to be a kind of thing that a complete absolute loser would do. If you wake up, at any random hour of the day only to masturbate and do drugs, that is kind of like the definition of a damn loser, and you don't have anything significant to do with the rest of your day. Now, this is supposed to be comedy, coming from a older lady that just stinks of cat's piss. It just sounds a lot sadder than she apparently realizes. But this is not just complaining about a certain lady that's not all that funny. This is just a pattern that we keep seeing over and over and over and over and over and over again all the time. Yes, these are all this guy Harry Styles. He's a singer anyway. But you just see this all the time. There's a definite pattern. If you look at some of the way people are dressing these days, and I'm no expert, but I did buy 5 black t-shirts and 5 dark blue ones like a couple days ago, so I know a thing or two about fashion, but is this really what we are now? People, I'm not in this kind of thing, so I think this guy is Smith something, singer of some sort, did a satanic show. Anyway, yeah, it's about getting the eyeballs on whatever crap you're doing and making money, but you cannot avoid seeing a certain pattern here, right? You see it. This is a guy, that's a guy, you don't even know what these things are, but yeah, I'll assume this is a dude over there. It is the same thing, and this, well, time and time and again. Now, there's many things I criticize from my own culture, my own country, in terms of, all the problems what we have. If there's one thing I do admire, though, is we have a certain appreciation for what being a man actually is. And a guy without courage, without masculinity, how is it that you're a guy without balls, right? So you have no balls. Now, if you want to mention a woman that is strong, that she's courageous, what is it that you say? Oh, she has balls as well. Well, in Argentina, we say that she has ovaries. She has ovaries. The reproductive system of a woman is not about having testicles, it's about ovaries. And over the years, it has become a thing. When you see a woman that has guts, as a woman is supposed to, when she has courage in the way that women can have courage as well, you don't say that she has balls. That's kind of insulting. You say, yeah, she has ovaries, man. And that is a compliment. That is something positive. And I think that's good. I think that's exactly the way it should be. These are all little things, little details, little things that little by little form our understanding of our culture, ourselves, what we're supposed to be, what we strive to be one day. I look at this guy, super successful, and, this is what you want your kids to be? Harry Styles. Yeah, super successful singer, I guess. And yet, there is something here that seems to be absolutely opposite to what a man is supposed to be. And you see it time and time and again. And then you end up with things like this. This is a singer called Blanco. I think he's an Italian guy. And this is how he freaked out in the middle of a concert because the audio was not working correctly, or the play stars actually did. Rock stars would do terrible things, and as part of the show. The difference, though, is that there's a level of controlled anger and artistry and being a rock star that breaks your guitar. Now, this guy is no rock star. This guy is kind of like the complete opposite of what a rock star is. This is a guy, a man that has no control over himself, his emotions, right? Like a little brat, like a little bitch, like a little child that cannot control himself, right? He is childish, infantile. Yes, of course, whatever it is that this is these days. But we are being led to this thing where men are not supposed to be men. Women are not supposed to be women. Men are supposed to act like women and dress like women and behave like women and have the character of the more negative aspect of what a woman is culturally considered to be, bratty and lacking emotional fortitude and strong will. No, you just freak out and lose your shit over some of the most idiotic stuff you could think of. That is what a man is. That's you have reconstructed yourself into what the elite basically wants you to be. And the same goes for women. She's strong, she's brave, she's courageous. She's, of course, not having children because that is for absolute losers. So men are not supposed to act like men, be strong, confident. No, you're supposed to freak out and have a fit like a little 5-year-old child. And women are supposed to be this, she's she's living her best life. And it's not just her. You see it in some of the latest songs as well. I don't need no man to buy me flowers. Well, it's not about having a guy in your life to buy you crap. Yeah, you can do that on your own with a job, no matter if you're a man or a woman. The idea is much more profound than that, is having something significant in your life, which usually revolves around having, strong social connections with other people. It's going to be having a wife, a husband, having kids, having a family. That would be what most normal people aspire to. And some people, have complete opposite ideas of what they want to do with their lives. And that's perfectly fine. That's something I noticed in the comments from the previous video about this woman. I don't want to have kids. That's perfectly fine if you don't want to have kids. Absolutely. Now, is it something that is to be celebrated? Oh, you're not having kids. That's one. Well, not so much. That's kind of like the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing as a living being. You're supposed to grow, reproduce, and finally die, right? That's basic living organism behavior. And that is usually attached to, by far, the most commonly acknowledged source of happiness and fulfillment in the lives of most human beings, no matter how rich, how poor you are all over the world. That is by far what all experts agree brings the greatest amount of joy and fulfillment in your life. Now, that's not for you. That's perfect. We don't want any single person out there to have a kid if they're not willing to do what it takes so as to bring him up like a proper human being, like a good man or woman. We don't expect anything from that. Now, this is like when we were told that, if Harry Styles or whatever this other dude is or whatever, if these guys want to dress up whatever it is they want, that's perfectly fine. And it is. If you want to dress up like a woman, by all means, go and do that. Now, there is this path, this slippery slope, this thing where we're first told we have to respect other people, and that is absolutely true. Now, we go from this to your kid has to dress like this guy right here. Your kid has to celebrate this, kind of behavior. Your child has to behave like a little spoiled brat because that is the way in which you're supposed to behave as a man. If you're an actual man, that is called male toxicity. If you're masculine, if you have your shit together, if you don't freak out over bullshit like this, if you have a certain level of testosterone and aggressive behavior when the situation calls for that, which is something that society has no problem exploiting when it comes to using that so as to make money. You look at people dying in wars, most of those, men. You look at people dying in some of the more dangerous jobs on the planet, we have no problem throwing guys at that pit of fire and hell and don't think twice about that. But when it comes down to acting like real men, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to act like that, right? This is what a man is these days. Again, I'm no fashion expert by any means, but I'm not an idiot, and I notice a certain very clear trend, both for men and women. Why is this? Final question, the most important one. Why is it that we're being led into having this as our society? Well, because that is the perfect way of destroying a person as an individual, as someone with confidence, as someone that would question what is happening around you. And when you have an empty as fuck life, all you do is get high, get drunk, fill that void in your soul, buying crap and doing things that will never change that fact. But you're easy to manipulate, you're easy to control, and basically you're a willing slave of the system that is looking to benefit from all of this as much as possible. Guys, that's all for now. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, thumbs up are always appreciated, and if you want to learn more about survival and preparedness in all of this broad context that I try to reference it to, well, you have my books, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse, available in Amazon, following those links below. Take care.